السلام عليكم welcome to Nabi English News Edition of the Helens. East African countries are getting together. For international scene, 112 countries pick an UN driver resolution to protect shipping in the Strait of Hormuz. Those with the national news. Djibouti capital hosted today an extraordinary meeting at of directors and head of intelligence service for the East African region at the Eila Hotel. Organized with the support of the Djiboutian authorities, this high-level meeting was part of a effort to strengthen regional security cooperation. A discussion focused on primarily on accessing the persistent terrorist threat in the region, particularly in the Horn of Africa and occupating transnational networks involved in illicit trafficking, cybercrime, and clandestine financial flows. The officials agreed to strengthen a mechanism for real-time information sharing and the coordination of cross-border operation. This synergy aims to anticipate the movement of army groups and toward any attempt at the destabilization. In opening the proceeding, Prime Minister Abdulkarim Mohammed and Directors General of National Security Hassan Said Khairi respectively recalled Djibouti's historical and geostrategic role, a crossroads of peace and stability, as well as its invaluable support for securing international maritime and air routes. And the Director General of the National Security, and Hassan Said, will speak, and he will emphasize the importance of strengthening cooperation in the face of regional security challenges. For more detail, with Mohamed Aden.
Notre région est un espace.
It is a true honor for me to speak at this strategic meeting bringing together the heads of intelligence services of East Africa. This meeting demonstrates the collective will of our state to address in a coordinated manner constantly evolving security threats. The security situation in the Horn of Africa region remains marked by the persistence of the terrorist threat, but also by the diversification of risks linked to transnational criminal networks, including trafficking of all kinds, cybercrimes, and illicit financial flows. Faced with these challenges, it is imperative to strengthen operational cooperation between our services, improve the sharing of sensitive information, and consolidate early warning mechanisms. The speed and reliability of information exchange are now determined factors in the prevention of security crises. Our organizations must evolve toward more integrated, responsive intelligence systems that are better adapted to the realities on the ground. The effectiveness of our actions will depend on our ability to anticipate threats rather than react to them reactively. In this context, Djibouti reaffirms its readiness to fully play its role as a platform for regional security cooperation by facilitating coordination between partner services and supporting joint initiatives to combat cross-border threats. I would also like to emphasize that the security cooperation we are seeking must be conducted with strict respect for the sovereignty of the state and essential conditions for mutual trust and the sustainability of our partnership. Finally, I hope that the recommendations resulting from our work will help consolidate a stronger regional security architecture capable of effectively protecting our populations and preserving the stability of our shared space.
And now let's listen to the speech of the Prime Minister.
It is an honor for the Republic of Djibouti to host this extraordinary meeting of the directors and heads of intelligence services of East Africa. Their presence here testifies to the strength of our shared commitment to addressing the security challenges facing our region. Djibouti, due to its strategic geographic locations in the heart of the Horn of Africa and at the gateway to major international maritime and air routes, fully embraces its role as a crossroad of peace and stability. We remain determined to actively contribute to securing these areas, which are vital for global trade and collective security. The persistent terrorist threats in our regions, as well as the rise of transnational criminal networks, whether involving illicit trafficking, cybercrime, and illegal financial flows, demands a collective, coordinated, and decidedly modern response. No single state can effectively address these challenges alone. In this context, strengthening real-time information sharing mechanisms and close coordination of cross-border operations are strategic imperatives. This is about anticipating the movement of armed groups, neutralizing threats before they materialize, and preserving the stability of our respective states. We must also invest in the continuous adaptations of our intelligence tools to keep pace with the rapid and complex evolutions of contemporary security threats. Innovation, technical cooperation, and the sharing of expertise must become the cornerstones of our joint action. Finally, the Republic of Djibouti reaffirms its unwavering commitment to an East African intelligence community based on the pooling of skills, resources, and expertise while fully respecting the fundamental principle of state sovereignty. This balanced approach between enhanced cooperation and respect for sovereignty is the key to sustainable, effective, and mutually beneficial regional security for our peoples.
Anno Jiburis showcasing its young challenge just before the days before the participation in the Grand International Final of the BGL Spelling P in Montreal, Canada. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, His Excellency Mustafa Mohamed Mahmoudi, received on Tuesday in the Ministry meeting room the two young Egyptian winners selected to represent the Republic of Djibouti at the BGL International Spelling P, scheduled for Sunday, May 17. In Montreal, Canada. Surrounded by their parents, schools, principals, and education leaders, the two young champions, Abubakar Mohammed Abubakar, and 9 years old, and Raisan Abubakar Hussein, 10 years old, were warmly congratulated on their outstanding performance. This meeting filled with emotion and camaraderie, providing an opportunity to acknowledge the students for as well as the commitment of the teachers, inspectors, and also families who supported them throughout the selection process. In his address, the minister expressed his great pride in saying, for the first time, very young Djiboutian students representing the country in international francophone competition of the scale. He noted that this qualification illustrated the progress made within the framework of the reform undertaken to improve the quality of teaching and learning in Djibouti. Let's now listen to experts from the speech of the Minister of National Education, Vocational Training.
Cet après-midi, c'est avec donc une grande fierté et une profonde émotion que donc nous sommes réunis pour.
It is with immense pride that I welcome our two young winners today, who will have the honor of representing the Republic of Djibouti at the Grand International Final of the PGL Spelling Bee in Montreal. Their exemplary achievements are a source of inspiration for the entire national educational community. Seeing for the first time such young students representing our country in a francophone international competitions of this magnitude is a historic moment for our education system. It testifies to the significant progress made within the framework of the reforms undertaken to improve the quality of teaching and learning in Djibouti. I would like to extend my warmest congratulations to students Abubakar Muhammad Abubakar and Raisan Abubakar Hussein, as well as to their families, teachers, school principals, and all the teaching staff who contributed to this remarkable success. Their collective commitment illustrates the strength of our schools when all stakeholders move forward in the same direction. Dear students, you are already the champions of Djibouti. Beyond the final result, your participation in these competitions is a victory in itself, a unique experience that will mark your academic and personal journey. I encourage you to fully embrace this intellectual and cultural adventure, to represent our country with dignity, and to proudly fly the national flag with confidence, discipline, and determination.
Djibouti celebrates the first graduating class of the Al-Wasadiyah Institute and Culture of Peace on the occasion of the awarding of diploma in Islamic Studies and Arabic language at the Populous Place under the patronage of the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Waqaf Propriety, Mr. Momin Hassan Bari, at the Al-Wasadiyah Institute of the Culture of Peace, held its graduation ceremony this morning for the first class of undergraduate student specializing in Islamic studies and Arabic language. The official ceremony took place at the People's Place in the presence of the Minister of Higher Education, Lepo, and also the Socialization, as well as prominent religious and academic figures. The Secretary General of the Minister of Islamic Affairs and the Director General of the Al-Wasadiyah Institute also attend the event along with Senior Minister official and numerous other guests. The Al-Wasadiyah Institute for the Culture of Peace is considered an integrated intellectual and civilizational institute combining academic training, the qualification of imams and preachers, the preparation of scientific research and studies, the development of the religious media discourse, and also the organization of the scientific and intellectual forum and meetings. All of those activities contributed the consolidating the message of modernization and the middle path, utilizing the latest modern technologies and tools. It does constitute an advanced model of training, knowledge and qualification based on the tolerant values of Islam, and also aiming to convey a message of peace and security within the society, while strengthening the culture of coexistence and tolerance among its diverse combined. I don't know the Director General of the Al-Wasadiyah Institute for the Culture of Peace, Mr. Al-Asleh Ahmed Abdullah, and outlining the Institute is founding on the same academic achievement, while also acknowledging the support of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Employment and the contribution of Al-Azhar's mission to the training student. He reaffirming the Institute's commitment to continue its development, expanding its program and strengthening its mission of dissemination the values of modernization, peace and coexistence in service to society. And then the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Waqaf, Momin Hassan Bari, indicated that the Al-Wasadiyah Institute for the Culture of Peace benefits from the special and unwavering support of His Excellency the President of the Republic, His Excellency Muhammad Ghali, emphasizing that this project aligns with a national vision aimed at promoting modernization and protecting society from extremism and radicalism. He also specified that this ceremony marks a historic milestone for the Institute, which is now engaged in a concrete phase of training and skills development and framing its commitment to strengthen its academic, linguistic, and also technological program in order to consolidate its mission of disseminating a culture of peace and modernization. On the other hand, the Minister of Islamic Affairs and Waqaf Propriety, Mr. Momin Hassan Bari, indicated that his ministry is actively working to make the institute an integrated scientific institution capable of meeting the religious, intellectual, and social needs of the country and the region. He presented an ambitious vision for the future of the institute, aiming in particular at the creation of a faculty in the Holy of Holy Quran, Quran science, dedicated to memorization, tajweed, the recitation of a Quranic verse, and also Quranic studies, as well as a faculty of Islamic economy intended to promote Islamic finance in line with the requirement of contemporary development. He also highlighted the success of the distance learning Quran program, which he described as a pioneer initiative. Following the far had that reach home in the 70s and hopefully the prefect of Djibouti City, Mr. Abdi Hassan Ahmed, visited the site of the disaster this morning to personally assess the extent of the material damage caused by the fire. During the site visit, the prefect oversaw the cleanup operation undertaken by the prefecture, which included clearing debris and removing charity materials in preparation for the future construction effort. He also spoke with the affected families to whom he expressed his support and solidarity. According to the relevant authorities, approximately 40 homes were affected by the fire, some partially damaged and others completely destroyed by the flames. The Prefect of Djibouti City, Mr. Abdi Hassan Ahmed, visited the site of the fire in the 7 Piece district to assess the extent of the damage and overseeing the cleanup operation undertaken by the relevant service. He expressed his solidarity with the affected families, thanking the Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity for dispatching first aid and providing social supplies, and called for a continued support and reconstruction effort. A major event, a new milestone that has just been reached in the development of national energy and logistic infrastructure with officially a launch of the fuel store terminal project in the strategic Demarchok area. Led by the Salam Group with the support of the government of Djibouti and Djibouti Port and Free Zone Authority, this ambitious project aims to sustainably strengthen the storage, distribution and transit capacity of energy and food products in the Horn of Africa region. The fuel store terminal presents an investment estimated at nearly 10 million Egyptian franc, or approximately 116 million US dollar, developing on an area of 22 hectares. The site will have a total storage capacity of 400,000 metric ton, intend to accommodate refine petroleum product, liquefied petroleum gas, and also edible oil. Thanks to this strategic location in Demarchok, in the immediate vicinity of the Bel Ahmed Strait, one of the best maritime corridors. Anno, the managing director of Djibouti Demarchok Industrial Development, emphasized the fuel store terminal represents a key investment for the country's economic future and strengthens its role in regional international trade.
The launch of the fuel store terminal in Demerjog marks a decisive step for Djibouti's energy and logistics future. Thanks to this strategic investment of nearly 30 billion Djiboutian francs, we are establishing a modern infrastructure capable of meeting the growing needs for the storage of and distributions of petroleum products, LPG, and edible oil through the region, with a capacity of 400,000 metric tons on a 22-hectare site. Fuel store will not only contribute to strengthening energy security, but also to creating jobs and boosting the national economy. Our remains fully committed to making fuel store an exemplary project serving the sustainable development and economic growth of the country.
Al-Rahma Development Complex held a ceremony yesterday to pay the farewell to and honor the foreign graduating class of general secondary school students and the 17 graduating class of industrial high school students. The ceremony took place in the presence of the regional director of the Al-Rahma in Djibouti branch, Mr. Abdul Qani Al-Qureshi, the director of the educational complex, Dr. Abdallah Fatouh, the technical advisor to the Minister of National Education Vocational Training, Mr. Ali Yusuf Duali, as well as several education sectors officially and representative of Al-Rahma International. The event featured several cultural and artistic performances that lent a festive and also a convivial atmosphere to the ceremony, including student representation, songs, and various other cultural activities. The highlight of this celebration, however, remains the priority of a graduate rise in their graduation goal in atmosphere filled with joy, emotion, and pride, illustrating the years of before preservation and success achieved throughout their academic journey. Since it is opened in 2007 and the complex has recorded a significant results in the area of general education as well as academic and vocational training. The number of graduates from the general high school has reached 471 students, while more than 4,354 students have been training in various specialized. The complex, which benefit from the special attention of the President of the Republic, Success Ramon Gele, also ensured that this establishment are equipped, particularly in the file of industrial education and advanced scientific laboratories in accordance with the program of the Ministry of Education and National Education and Vocational Training. For his part, the director of the educational complex, Dr. Abdallah Fatouh, recounted the complex history since its creation in 2007, highlighting its role in training skills professionals in various fields while emphasizing the administration's commitment to continue the development of educational and vocational program. Anno Chabushian athlete Samia Hassan Noor delivered a remarkable performance that last night, winning the silver medal in the 5,000 meters at the African Senior Championships.
The four African team qualified for 2026 FIFA Women's World Cup in Poland. Benin, Ghana, Nigeria, and Tanzania will represent the African continent at the 2026 FIFA Women's World Cup, scheduled to take place in Poland from September 5 to 27, 2026. All four nations secured their qualification following the African qualifiers, confirming the continued growth of women's football on the continent and its increasing integration into major international competition. Nigeria is among the most experienced and highly anticipated team in this edition thanks to its strong track record in youth competition. This African participation promised to be particularly competitive against the major nations of Europe, Asia, and South America in a tournament that is expected to be challenging and contested.
And for regional scene, Kenya and France signed 11 cooperation agreement on May 10, 2026, totaling approximately $905 million and to finance infrastructure modernization and digital transformation projects in Kenya. This partnership concluded between William Ruto and Emmanuel Macron and aimed to strengthen economic and technological cooperation between Europe and Paris, while accelerating the digital transition and stimulating growth and innovation in Kenya. And now of international scene, a draft resolution presented to the UN Security Council aimed at securing the Strait of Hormuz.
112 countries support the United States draft resolution to protect navigation in the Strait of Hormuz. A draft resolution presented to the United States to the United Nations Security Council concerning the security of the Atlantic source. This initiative is part of international efforts to contain the crisis between Iran and its regional neighbors, as the risk of the conflict escalating continue to grow.
And that's it for this edition. Thanks for your attention and wonderful evening.